Hello guys and welcome to my first Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Eisendrache Easter egg video. In this video we'll be going over the detailed step-by-step guide on how to do the Easter egg. So let's get right into the step. So first step that you need to do is to build the Pack-a-Punch machine. This is very important as you'll be fighting a final boss later on and you need to have Pack-a-Punch weapons or else it'll be a really hard task for you to do. So assume that you already know how pack-punching works. You need to teleport to the pieces that you'll find, teleportation pieces, one which is in the pyramid room and the other being in the control room where you turn on the power. Once you've done that, go on to step 2, which is to activate the pyramid. In order to activate the pyramid, you need to be standing on 4 tiles. You need to stand on and activate 4 tiles in that room around the pyramid. Stand on one of them until it turns blue, and once it stays blue after you get off, that's when you know it's activated. Do that for the remaining 3 and you'll see weightlessness and you'll experience weightlessness. That's when you know you've done this stuff correctly. Now move on to step 3, which is to build the bow. So you need to build the bow by feeding 3 of the dragon heads that are located across the map. One being on the right side. When you spawn in, go on the right side and you'll see a dragon's head in the courtyard. 2 of them being available once you turn on the power on the other courtyard. You need to go into the radio room, that's where one of the dragon heads are, and also in the pyramid room. So now you can move on to step 4, which is to upgrade this bow to the electric, wolf, fire, and void forms. So the bow can be upgraded by 4 different ways. Each upgrade requires a different number of steps. So you need to note that players only need to upgrade their enough bows to have 1 each. So if you're playing solo, then you only need to have 1 upgraded bow. So the recommended choice being the electricity and lightning bow. You'll still be able to do the keeper, which is step 13 of this guide. Step 5 would be to build the gravity spikes. Assume that you know where to find the locations of these gravity spikes. While you're doing that, you can also get the pieces for the shield as it will help out during the boss fights and any other zombie round basically. So once you've got the gravity spikes, move on to step 6, which is to use the gravity spikes on the clock tower. So go to the top of the clock tower and plant the gravity spikes on the floor behind the clock. So now you need to go downstairs and take note of the lever next to the green computer screen. This allows you to stop and start the clock. Use the lever and good timing to stop the clock when it's 9:35. So an audio clue will now sound and lightning will strike the tower. So go back to the pyramid room and you'll notice an extra ball on top. This is how you know you've done this step correctly. So step 7 will be to shoot the wisps that are scattered around the map. So head over to the teleporter and shoot the prongs on the teleporter at the top with the unupgraded bow until they turn gold. So now new sparking objects will appear around the map once you do this step. So you need to locate these items and shoot them with the bow. It doesn't matter if you have an upgraded bow that you shoot them with or an unupgraded bow, but you need to make sure that while you're turning on the prongs, you need to have an unupgraded bow. You can just do this by replacing it with the replacing an upgraded bow with where you put it initially to get the upgraded bow. So now you need to find 4 of the Wisp locations in quick succession to do the next step correctly. The details will be in the description, and I'll link you to another video where you can see how to find the Wisp locations, which you're seeing right now that I'm doing currently in the clips as well. So this is the globe that's one of the 8 locations that it may be in, but you need to only do 4 in quick succession. The next step is to go back in time. So now you need to return to the teleporter. It should be purple if you did the previous step correctly. Step inside with all teammates if not playing solo and teleport back in time. So the screen will turn black and white. and Dr. Groff putting something inside the safe while talking to Rectofen over the radio. So now you need to pick up both the soul canister and blue fuse in this room, and make sure, very essential to make sure that you note down the code he enters on the safe. It's a vertical piece of code, you can take a picture if it would be, or something of the sort. So the next step would be to use the death ray and compute a terminal. Go to the death ray and place the blue fuse into the machine and change it to protect mode by interacting with the switch on the side. This will activate the computer's terminal by the rocket and the terminal outside the clock tower. Now you need to go to the terminal outside the clock tower, which is the second level, and enter Groff's code into the computer. So note that this code changes every round, so don't kill the last round. So now you can move on to step 10, which is to open the safe. Now that the correct code has been entered into the computer terminal, the safe near the teleporter will be open. Head over there and collect the 2 cylinders, which looks like Tesla coils, and the key card, which looks like a floppy disk. Insert the 2 Tesla coils into the Tesla machine, either side of the death machine. Then set the death ray to destroy mode and activate it. The machine should now become supercharged. Now you can insert the key card or a floppy disk into the computer terminal. Now step 11 would be to play Simon Says. So you need to use the computer terminal outside the clock tower and the rocket launch site to play a game of Simon Says. Memorize the positions of the 4 lower symbols. They will disappear and a symbol will appear on top of the screen one after another. Each time a symbol appears, pick up the matching location on the 4 lower screens. Don't make a mistake or you'll have to do this all over again. So you need to be playing Simon Says once on the clock tower computer and again on the rocket launch site computer. So once you've done that, move on to step 12. You'll see Dempsey crash landing. Go back into the death ray, activate it again using the green button on the back. The laser will shoot down the rocket and Dempsey's pod will come crashing down through the clock tower. It'll land right outside the control center. It looks like a meteor. So now you can move on to step 13 of this guide, which is to use the goldenrod device and charging the keepers. Repeat the wisps again. You need to get 4 of them in quick succession as you did before, and then go back in time once again using the teleporter. This time, pick up the keeper tablet from the 935 box in the corner, so this will be found in the room. So once you've done that, take the goldenrod from the crash wreckage and take it to the Knight's Tome. Insert the goldenrod device into the slot just under the tome and the ghostly figures will appear. Now you can go to the 3 ritual corners, circles I mean, stand inside it and kill zombies in close vicinity to charge them. You must use the right prototype for each of the circles. This is why you need different types of prototypes, right? So as you stand in the ritual circle, the screen tint, bow color, will guide you as to which bow to use in that location. When you're at the car site near double tap, make sure you place the tablet as well. So this is step 13. Now you're at the boss fight. You're at step 14, which is the fight the boss. The hardest part of the Easter egg is to fight the boss. You can do the solo as well, but make sure you have really strong guns there. So to reach the boss location, go back to the pyramid, place the soul canister in each of the corners. You'll notice that the top half of the pyramid disappears and the keeper spirit is standing in the middle. All players must place their gravity spikes, 1 on each of the pressure plates. If solo, just place 1. These are the plates that you originally stood on activating the pyramid. So once you do that, you'll be attacked. You'll be teleported to a dark room basically, and with 5 pillars around the edge and skeleton zombies attacking you. There'll also be a massive keeper in the room and you'll need to avoid his electric attacks. won't be going over the details on how to fight the boss, but that's for a new video. Step 15 will be to insert the summoning key into the terminal. Following the intense fight, you'll be teleported back to the pyramid room. Now you can pick up the summoning key, and from the side of the pyramid, you can go over to the terminal by the clock tower and insert the key. So this is the epic ending where you'll see rockets fired towards the moon to destroy it. And this is the Easter egg complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.